Hello everybody. This is the video I've been wanting to make for a while, and it is one that I'm sure other people have made in the past, but I wanted to make my own version. I pride myself on being able to explain things in a way that people can understand. So that is what I'm going to try to do today in reference to macro tracking, macro counting, macro calculations, whatever you want to refer to it as. It's been around for a long time, and I do think that people still get overwhelmed with it. I don't even think about it anymore. I've been doing it-ish since like 2013, maybe even before that. I think I started in high school. I mean, I've been reading labels since I was a baby, but not a baby, at least since I could read. But that's because my parents were very like health conscious. We were raised vegetarian, and so I had to like read the labels to make sure there wasn't any meat and stuff. But I have known what a protein was, what a carbohydrate was, and what fats were to an extent basically my whole life, just because my mom was really good about nutrition and making sure that we didn't have two starches in one meal. So there would never be like a corn and mashed potato and macaroni and cheese meal, which sounds amazing, but that was never a meal I was allowed to have as a kid. I had to have a veggie, a starch, and then a protein. And yes, being vegetarian, she did a really good job at making sure we had protein in every meal, whether it was beans, whether it was, veggie meat. There's a lot of veggie meats out there. Tofu, eggs. Eggs were a staple in the mornings. Anyways, this is not about me. It's about you, and I'm getting you to be a comfortable macro counter. All right, so my tool of choice has been my tool of choice for 10 years. It has evolved over time, and every evolution, I love it more, other than the price. MyFitnessPal. You're probably familiar with it. You've heard about it. There are others out there, and to be honest, I did do a deep dive on what the best macro counter calculator is over the last couple weeks, and I'm still on board with MyFitnessPal. I'll release that video at some point, maybe before this one, I don't know. But MyFitnessPal is hands down my favorite. Accuracy, what's accurate anymore? What's accurate is what you can do consistently, okay? So whatever you're picking, you're doing that consistently over time. If it's this calculator and that's the one you choose to use, great. You're going to keep doing that. And if it is off, then that's, okay, but you've been doing it and this is your new normal. Alrighty. So I know people are like, oh, well, it's not accurate. Blah, blah, blah. Neither are the freaking labels you're reading. Okay. They are allowed to be up by 10%, 20%, down by 20%. They have a freaking window. So when you are saying that the app is wrong, well, honestly, the labels aren't super correct either. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. All right, so I use MyFitnessPal. I have used the free version for a long time, and I've used the pro version. The pro version's great. It will do everything for you. It has gotten a little bit expensive, but it's not like outrageous. If that is the route you want to go, it will save you a lot of time, honestly, by doing the pro version. But the free version is what I'm going to talk about today because it's still viable. It's still a wonderful option for those who want to take the time to learn it. And that's what we're going to be going over today. So the free MyFitnessPal version has most of the features that the other one does. You're still able to track your food, see your calories, see your macros, see your micronutrients, assuming that the foods you are tracking have those included in them. You can create recipes. You can add your own foods in there. And what I mean by that is, say there's some weird health brand that you like, but you can't find it in the app, right? Or maybe it's something that you buy at the gas station, a bad example, but some of the gas station foods have labels on them. You can add that food in there into the system. I think it might even be logged into the overall system at that point, but your recipes, the ones that you create, are yours. I'm not going to show you how to create recipes today. I'm sure there's a video out there that will show you how to do that. I've created my own. My mom did a lot of baking when I was living at home, and so I added a lot of those recipes in. And then I have added my own in since, like a protein ball or a protein smoothie or something like that. One that I knew exactly what I was putting in, and it doesn't change. If you are changing up your recipes or changing up the portions of your recipes, then you're going to need to keep that in mind when tracking. Okay, so getting into this how-to. Okay, so starting with MyFitnessPal app, you're going to open it. Here's the home screen. I'm going to start by adding in some foods. We're just going to start with breakfast today. My go-to breakfast is usually egg whites. Choose your portions. You can do it by single eggs. You can also do it by tablespoons or cups. Then we're adding in, I like to have a couple whole eggs as well, just for some fats. A good carb source. Oats are a pretty safe option there. Little bit of fats as well for breakfast. Good peanut butter. I like to smear it over the top of my oats too. You can see here I'm looking for a peanut butter with grams. This one only had tablespoons. So I'm having to look in the entire database, and we're going to do some scrolling here. I probably should have cut this out of the video, but I really appreciate you for hanging out. You can see there's a lot of options. The little green thing means that it's been verified. So I usually try to find foods with the little green one next to it. I was also looking at brands that are easily recognizable. Pix peanut butter is the one that ended up having the gram option. And since it was fairly similar to what I normally use as far as macros, I went ahead and just typed in 32 grams and went with that. And then lastly, I do like to have a little bit of berries or fruit with breakfast just to round it out. I didn't add it in there, but I do usually have spinach as well. So you can see this is a fairly high calorie breakfast. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom to the nutrition button. Tap that, bam. You can see all of your nutrients from that one meal. 51 carbs, 30 fat, and then you've got your protein. Then on the nutrients button there, you'll see your fiber, your sugars, everything. Next, I'm going to go to a day that I have filled in the entire day. I'm going to show you how we can use that one day and substitute, increase your carbs, etc. All right, here we go. So you can see this day I have completely filled in. It is a 1,400 calorie day. We've got our pre-workout meal, post-workout breakfast, got a lunch, dinner. We're going all the way to the bottom here, and we're going to see what the nutrition looks like. So we've got 95 carbs, fats, 153 protein. This was clearly a lower carb day. I want to show you how we can bump those carbs up without having to sacrifice the protein or fat. So we're just going to increase some of the foods we already have. I'm going to do a whole cup of Chex rice Chex. I'm going to add in some jasmine rice to our post-workout meal. I do like to have carbs post-workout. And then on lunch, we're going to add a carb source because this is mostly just chicken and veggies. And we're going to add a sweet potato. Maybe. There we go. So we're lowering it to about 30 carbs there. And then now you can see we've increased your calories to 1730 and we've increased the carbs to 170. Anyways, I hope this helps, guys. One last thing I want to show you is how you can actually substitute certain foods in your meal plan. So say you have a chicken, coconut, stir-fry rice meal, and you want to have beef in there instead of chicken. Awesome. Let's look at how much actual macros are in each. So the chicken, the coconut oil, the veggies, and the rice. Go down to that nutrition button and you're going to see your totals there. So remember those totals. And then what I will actually do is I'll go to the next day and add in that's like just copy that meal to the next day and then substitute the beef. See how much protein it is. It's a little higher in fat, so that means I have to adjust my coconut oil as well. Lowering the coconut oil by 75%, not 75%, 3/4 of a teaspoon. So as you can see here, you've got your chicken meal and what its totals are, and then you have your beef meal and what the new totals are. They're very similar. I think it was off by like 2 grams, which does add a little bit of calories. But yeah, that's how you do it. All right, guys, I hope that helped. I know it's a lot of information, and truthfully, it's just going to take trial and error. It's just going to take repetition and practice, utilizing the foods that you use on a regular basis and seeing how they fit. A lot of times it's just increasing quantities or decreasing. So just kind of adjusting the amounts that you're already utilizing. If you have questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. My DMs are always open. You shoot me an email about coaching, anything along those lines, and I would be happy to help. Anyways, like, subscribe, all that jazz.